Hi, I'm Jason Platt, and welcome to Drafting Ish. Okay, so I'm going to focus on some questions from Reddit, go through that kind of thing, maybe help some people out, and maybe answer some questions along the way from you guys. So we're going to just share my screen over here. We're going to go onto Reddit. And if you take a look, I'm on AutoCAD Training Support and Resource page. I'm actually going to join that now. I just started and just logged into this, so first things first, there's a question on here about education. I have 2 years experience in commercial electrical residential electrical. So this person has some trade experience, but doesn't really know how to use AutoCAD and wants to be able to use that as a legit training. So there's lots of options. Um, you can go into trade school, you can go back to school. There are some good resources out there. He's talking about some not so great resources. So I think the thing we're going to have to discuss is that you can get good resources online. Hopefully, I'm one of those. And um, if that's the other problem, is you need something where you have a piece of paper, you're going to have to go to college or some sort of technical school, depending on your area. So I can't really get that too in depth with that, except that generally speaking, there's about you can get a year course, a 2-year course, even a full degree, but that's more of a European thing, I believe. I have 2 certificates, so um, if you if we go and discuss that, I have 2 certificates, one in structural and one in mechanical and manufacturing. So what normally happens is you actually go take what's called a core competency. They're going to go over just the drafting normals, the norms, how to draft. And sometimes they even do that by hand, so don't be surprised if that's the case. And then you go through that core, and when you're done, you then choose like some sort of specialization, because obviously you can't have a specialization before a core. And there may or may not be an electrical one for like this fellow here. However, if he goes and takes some other specialization, or he actually, because he's used electrical enough, he might actually be able to electrical draft quite well even after a core course. Just thinking outside the box, maybe you don't need to take a full electrical drafting course. You can just take standard drafting with CAD and go through it that way. So as you see, I have mine back here, but you don't need to have a piece of paper to tell you you're a drafter. Unfortunately, at the same time, that makes a lot of what we call CAD monkeys. And I know that sounds terrible, but you don't want to be that, because unfortunately, then people just think you're either just there clicking the buttons and not understanding what you're doing. But if you have a background, definitely look into it. So we're going to go back to the screen share here. So anyway, this person's got that, and I'm going to look at some of the books of the AutoCAD itself. So actually, I believe that actually is a way to do it. I'm not 100% sure how to deal with it that way. That's more of a certification, but that's more not going to give you the training. That's more of, hey, this is what I need to be certified. So you will want some background before you get AutoCAD certifications. I'm actually not certified in any AutoCAD software. I'm certified in some SolidWorks software. However, I've used AutoCAD more than I've used SolidWorks, so figure that one out just because of where I've worked in the past. So I think the first thing is I'm going to change my username because apparently I have to make one. Drafting. Yay, it's available. I'm surprised, but save the username. Okay. I'm going to just go back up to in here, AutoCAD. And okay, so this person actually is asking more of a question about the specs for AutoCAD. So I'm assuming that they're wanting, I'm not sure if they're wanting LT or if they're running full AutoCAD, what they're looking for exactly. But if you're going to use this, you're going to want to go in and choose a decent laptop. The main thing that actually you want on your laptop for AutoCAD is not so much the processor, which is still important, but nowadays processors are pretty quick. What you actually want is you want to get a laptop with a non-integrated video card. This is important because unfortunately integration on the video card side means that you would then lose your RAM on the other side. So if you have just a laptop with, say, 8 gigs of RAM, but it's an integrated video card, it actually takes the RAM from that pool, uses it as a pretend buffer, builds your video and does it that way, and then it becomes a mess. So really, if you have a dedicated video card, it's going to be better regardless of how much better the video card is. It depends on that. You could get into a lot of research in that. You can go, I would suggest look online, see what the ones work best for your system or for your use. However, it's going to be better just to get an non-integrated video card. So like for me, I'm using Core i7 with GeForce GTX 980M in it. So it's a non-integrated video card. This is a little bit older of a computer, but it runs AutoCAD perfect. So you're not going to get a super cheap one, but it might be worth it. Right now I'm recording, and it's normally like one record. I don't like to do a bunch. I'll edit and I'll chop it up, but I'm not going to go and sit here and look up what the best one is right now. If you have any questions, I have no problem answering if that computer is better in the bottom, and I will give you my personal opinion. I do have an IT background at the same time, so I'm hoping I can give you a little bit more insight. So I'm just going to comment. So apparently I'm doing too much. So we're just going to I discard that. Well, that's unfortunate, but we're just going to keep going because this is more about the show than actually on Reddit. So where's the elements next? Okay, so first off, I don't even know what to tell this for Soul. Moving from SolidWorks 2016 to AutoCAD 2000, they are two different animals, and AutoCAD 2000 is old. So we're talking like 20 years old, so I'm not 100% sure what he's thinking. And there is no real good transition. 21 years old, so yeah, so they're talking about the software being too old. So yeah, you want to be able to adapt between the two softwares. There isn't, if you're an AutoCAD user, you can generally go into SolidWorks, but again, there's a big jump, and going into AutoCAD, you should take some sort of AutoCAD drafting course. Do not take, as we were talking before, do not just take it online and hope for the best. you can kind of fumble through it, but it's not great. What you need to do is take some sort of formalized drafting, because you're actually going to learn about the skills that are attached to drafting, not just the drawing things on a piece of paper. Because anyone can do that on a piece of paper. So essentially, anyone can do it on a computer. I'm sorry, I dropped my pen. So beyond that, the other thing that you need to take into consideration is if you are going from an AutoCAD environment to a SolidWorks environment, I would highly suggest that you take training through the SolidWorks VAR, which is a value-added retailer. I know a pretty good global one, so if you want, I can give that information to you. I don't know if I want to specify and say, hey, this is a good one to look at in the video itself. They're good. They're good people. Used to work there. Highly recommend them. So if you have any questions, and yeah, so some people are going to say the clunkiness and blah blah blah, but yeah, so parametric vol is also, so this person's specializing and saying, hey, it's going to be a lot different. So what's the main issue? That. So I'm hoping that this video will give you some insight on some types of different things for drafting and maybe design, and we can go through that, and I hope you learned something.